rapping for myself and my family. There's no way that this is real, man, it can't be.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Modify Your Life podcast, where I am your host, Anthony Lopez, also known as Heavy 2 Modified. And here on Modify Your Life, we talk about modifying your life mentally, physically, emotionally, financially, and spiritually. So if you can't tell by this cool background, I've been a madman. First off, it's my birthday, so call me down, happy birthday if you made it this far. 20 seconds
Happy birthday,
in,
bro.
right? Thank you, bro.
Yeah.
Hey, you're not here yet. You're not supposed to know who you are, right? We haven't announced to have a guest yet. We couldn't afford Frankie because she got me a gift with my credit card that I'm gonna have to pay back for some reason. So I don't know if she got me a gift or if I got myself a gift, but whatever it might be.
We got me a
right?
gift.
But you're not here yet, damn it.
My bad.
It's me still. God, don't shut up, man. Anyways, we can afford modified Frankie. So we got the infamous D Premium.
What up, guys? What up, guys? I'm back. You might have seen me before. We've done this before. A couple times.
If I had $1 for every single time that people said Hefe from Premium,
yeah,
I'd be able to buy something.
Hefe from Premium. I mean, we created something cool.
It was dope.
We literally met each other and we created gold.
I think so. I think we could have been the Robin Big. Honestly, I think we could have. We did a lot.
The thing is, like, now you'd be Rob and I'd be Big.
Have the tables have turned, chubby boy.
Back in the day, I was like, hey, I'll be Rob, you be Big, but the tables have definitely turned.
But it's not noticeable, man. With these cameras, you're looking good. You're looking good, man.
Thank you.
But, obviously, I think I shouted you out in the last podcast. I'm not sure if you listened to it yet. If you haven't, don't tell me. Just lie to me.
No, I did.
The studio, when we moved back from Vegas, you came over here and you're like, yo, I just need you. We need you here.
Yeah.
We need to get in here, right? And it's kind of like, it's really cool. It's really nostalgic. Even though it wasn't long ago, I was looking at it was 3 years ago I was making content for you.
Yeah.
Or was it 3 or 4 years ago? I was just looking on the YouTube, like 4 years ago, maybe go now. Right? And I was like, but it's so cool because I've grown a lot. You've grown a lot. Not gonna talk about pant size or anything. I'm talking about just mentally.
Too,
I wasn't. I was calling you out though.
32 to a 34. Like that's some growth
I'm in 34s, man. I won't tell you. Okay. I won't roast you. Like, man, this guy's lost weight, turned into an asshole. It's our friendship, right? But you know what I mean. So it's so cool to be in here, and now we got a meeting in a couple hours. We got to go pick up some stuff from your car, wherever it might be, and just to see just how much we've leveled up in life.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean, and that pretty much stemmed from the conversation. The comment that someone left. And I was like, yeah, let's get him on. You want to hear it? Want to hear it? And what people's, like everyone says on social media, everyone wants to know.
Yeah.
One person asked.
Everyone's
got to know, right? Is that what my weight loss looked to my best friend. Because you see me every single day. Like, let's go back and let people know, because we got to let people know how we know each other, because we can't assume that people know Mr. D Premium.
So I'd say 2017, 2018.
Yeah, I was about 25, 26 years old.
Yeah,
so
around that time frame. Yeah. I don't even remember how we met.
You don't remember?
Like I've known you my whole
remember
life.
our first kiss?
I remember what we did to introduce you to the audience with YouTube and the things that we had you partake in.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
Which was insane because we just had met and I was a fanboy of TJ Hunt and I pranked him with a toy gun.
Yeah.
But he didn't know it was a toy gun.
Were you a fan of me?
I was a fan.
What brought you to Premium? I'm trying to remember that.
I was I was a fan of you too. I was a fan of you too.
Thank you.
I'm not sorry. I'm sorry. You was a fan of my boy too. I was a fan of TJ. No, I was kidding. But what brought me to you? Well, I watched you guys on YouTube.
Okay.
Right. I think this was around the time where you guys were doing a lot of the shop pranks and stuff like that. But what brought me to you was actually someone had a horrible rap,
and it wasn't from me,
and it was not from Premium Auto Styling at all. But it was bad, bro.
It was. I remember now.
He was like, yo, yeah, but I never. Jose, his name's Jose. He has a rap shop now. He's like, yo, man, like I see you have a YouTube channel, and I think you're a good person. If you could share the story, I was like, bro, let's shoot it. Probably one of my most viewed videos. I think 500,000 views or something like that. For me, that was a lot at the time.
Yeah.
And it was horrible rap, and you offered to help fix it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And then it just brought us together.
Yeah. At that time, John was graduating film school.
That's right.
And I got put in a seat with someone who just won a $5,000 award for, a film in college. And I was like, I had a $300, I'll never forget, the T3i. It was a used one. T3i and a regular lens. I was like, yo, I'll be your filmer one day. And you called me up. You're like, hey, my filmer's been, out for a little bit. And I started shooting for you. And it's been history from there.
You know what it is? If you think about it, it's the same formula that is right now. I was like, let's just get in a room together.
Yeah.
If you and I get in a room together, we make magic happen.
Yeah.
So at that time, I was like, I just got to be. If I can get this guy to be around me, and you were 500 pounds at the time?
I was about 4 something. I've gained
500 pounds?
500.
He was a big dude. He was a bigger guy.
I was like 480.
Okay, so it's around 480 at the time. But I knew I saw something different. I'm like, yo, if I can be around this guy, we can do something great together. I just got to get him over here.
You know what though? Okay, so hear me out, right? And it just came to my head. A lot of people look at fat people as sloppy and lazy, right? Because we had an incident.
Yeah.
Where someone assumed I was sloppy and lazy.
Yeah.
Right. And I feel I worked pretty hard. Now, not harder than this version, but I'm also 400 pounds lighter.
Yeah.
Right. And I have a lot more knowledge. Right. But you didn't judge me for my weight because I came in belly hanging, showing a little bit, sandal wearing, and morbidly obese. I was 500 some pounds.
Yeah.
When I came into premium, the shop, the first or second shop. What was that like? You didn't pay attention? Did you not care? Like, because we weren't close at the time. We were just, I was.
You want the truthful answer? You want the real answer?
Yeah.
Well, right off the bat, I grew up, you don't judge a book by their cover. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, you might have been a big dude, but your actions showed otherwise. So right off the bat, I'm like, okay, this guy can move. He's motivated. I'm asking him to be here at 6, 7 in the morning to go shoot this or that on video, and he shows up. So right off the bat, you're already beating like the fat stigma. Let's just be real, Like there is that stigma that fat people are lazy.
Yeah.
And you didn't show that from the beginning, even at 400 pounds. And as we evolved and you kind of grew a little bit more, you still didn't show it, And there was time and time again where you showed me that no matter the weight that you were carrying around, you were still like somebody that could come in and get things done, and you did. So oddly enough, I never really viewed you as a fat dude. I never did. It wasn't until somebody brought it to my attention where I was like, oh yeah. And I never thought about it. And I don't mean this as a diss. I hope no. It comes from a good place. I just didn't see you as a big dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, a lot of people did it. I mean, Francine didn't see me as a big dude. I mean, obviously, someone had to tell me something.
And I was looking at you through love and eyes too, just like she does. I fell in love with you, So I'm like, anybody says anything bad about this guy, he ain't fat. I'll beat your ass.
Boy, just said I fell in love with. That's why we're best friends.
Yeah.
Well, you know what though? Just like, we, for those of you who don't know, me and Daniel talk every single day. We've never stopped talking. We always talk. Even when I lived in Vegas, I think we both counted down the days until I moved back because we knew we were moving back. But it's so interesting because now like certain things make sense. So like a story that I always tell and I always share with everyone is that when we're sitting down having lunch, a business meeting, the owner of a sandwich place came up to me and offered me a second chair.
Yeah.
And I was embarrassed, right? I was very embarrassed. I was like, that's never happened to me before. Right. But you were pissed.
Yeah.
So you didn't eat that sandwich place until one time we got hungry. We actually wanted to go. It was like a couple months because we
vowed
had that place
to never
every
go
week.
back.
Yeah, we did.
But
you were actually mad. And so it makes sense now that you didn't see me that way because, I mean, obviously it's like shallow hell, right?
Yeah.
The guy you go, he sees the girl's 600 pounds, but he loves her. She looks skinny in his eyes, right? So kind of like that. But you looked at me for my purest form of who I was. And,
right.
and you actually know it better yet. You looked at me for my actions. You didn't look at me for my physical appearance, which is it's a hard thing to find, right? A very hard thing to find someone that would, look at you for you and not, your flaws and your whatever it might be. But you were really mad.
I was upset.
You were
prior
furious.
to
you were furious,
that
bro.
situation, I used to go to that sandwich spot like 2 or 3 times a week.
You told everyone not to go.
And I told everybody, I was like, hey guys, and the messed up part for that guy who did that, the owner, which that's a whole nother story. He was an old man. It came from a weird place. But at the same time, like, we used to send my clients there. I'd be like, hey, if you're getting your car wrapped or worked on, go see my guy Lee at the sandwich spot. Like, he's the man, And we sent him a bunch of business. And ultimately, I don't think they're there anymore, at least not under his ownership. But not saying that we did that, but we sent a lot of people there.
We were definitely 20% of, we did cars in and out, left and right of that place, right?
When that happened, to give a little context, to give a little more from my side, my perspective, you and I decided, hey, let's go have a quick business meeting. Let's get away from everybody. Let's go sit down. And this guy,
which we walked there.
We did.
We walked there. We walked there.
He was already on a journey. He was already working on losing weight. So this place was probably about a block away.
About a block.
Yeah, we're just around the corner.
10 miles.
So we walk there. Let's call it 10. We walk there. We get there. We have our meeting. We're getting ready to start eating our food as we're having this meeting. And the owner comes up and he's like shoving another chair behind you, like not even really asking, kind of forcing it in, you know?
It scared me. I felt him touch my butt.
Yeah.
The hell?
And yeah, you were sitting in a chair, half of your body's hanging off on each side.
Yeah.
I didn't notice it, you know, and I don't mean this in a bad, vulgar way, but I like to give narration and context.
The reason why I'm saying that is Frankie's in the background laughing right now. Like she wasn't like 700 pounds and had a face surgery and about to get her BBL.
Yeah.
Over here judging me.
He shoved another
big
chair
dog.
into you, bro. And I'm just like, I remember looking at him like, we got to wrap this up. We got to get the fuck out of here.
Bro, I was
Excuse
never
my language.
awkward. No, you could cuss on my podcast. You're an adult. It's
But
okay.
I was like, dude, come on.
Sign a waiver.
Like,
it was embarrassing, bro. It was embarrassing. It was embarrassing because at that moment we were really close at that time, right?
We're not anymore?
I mean, I'm saying though, I didn't just start. We jumped up 2 years, right? Old shop into new shop, right? All the stuff we've been through in between. So we were close at that time. So, but also, no matter how close we got, I still always looked up to you.
Yeah.
Because when I came in, you were growing the business, or the brand and premium and everything like that. So I was your filmer, full-time filmer. Yeah. So I seen everything. I seen you had me in meetings and all that stuff. So like I still, even though we're best friends, you know, I was best man at your wedding, right? It was still embarrassing because you're my boy, right? And I think it was kind of put myself back in that situation. I think it was embarrassing because I think that's the day I think you realized that I was fat. And
I would say like there was incremental points in your journey of from there to here where I was like, oh wow, like things keep popping up. And that was one of those situations for sure. You know, and I got you, you know, you're asking about my perspective and we'll get into all of them. But that was one of them where I was just like, wow, like this is how my homie might be getting treated outside in the world, you know?
Oh, and yeah, we're good. We're back up. We're not supporting Netflix right now.
Yeah, and my guy got treated like that, and it was like, okay, wow, like there's probably more that you go through on a daily basis, whether it been looks or negative comments that I wasn't there for, and I got to see that one, and it upset me.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very interesting. I've had like people take photos of me at car meets. I've had people ask me how I got inside my Camaro. Like, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, it's like, I would just laugh it off. But that's why when I make this content and I say that we're not happy being fat, it's not because I lost weight and I'm a freaking asshole. It's because I wasn't happy. Like, imagine someone coming up to you and you're like, hey, bro, man, I love your Camaro. How did you fit in it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Bitch, I put oil in my seat. I slid in. Like, don't worry about it. Like, you know what I mean? So, like, when I make this content, I talk about this stuff, I generally mean it. You're not happy that you're fat because if someone happens to say that one time or they say it 100 times, it still hurts.
I think that's what makes you the most authentic coach you can be. And over the years, like, I've realized why is it working so well for you? And it's because you're not just some healthy dude that's trying to teach fat people to be healthy. And again, I don't say fat people to be vulgar, but let's speak the truth of what we're trying to do here is unhealthy people. You're trying to get them healthy, but you've been unhealthy yourself, which puts you into a position where you're speaking from authority and also like you've been there.
Yeah.
It's real. It's authentic.
It's not a book. I've been saying that a lot lately. Like, it's not a book that I'm reading. This is a life that I live, right? It's my book. To the point where, remember when you started making some money in premium and you got all new furniture.
Yeah.
And then you're like, yo, what chair are we going to get for you? I was like, oh, I appreciate that. Yeah. And then guess what? None of them worked. So I had to take off the sides off one of them. You know what I mean? We had it wasn't supposed to be off, but it worked. We made it work. You know what I mean? Because I couldn't sit in a chair that had sides in it and stuff like that. So like little things like that I had to do. Like even you were so shocked when I told you when we go to lunch, which we went to lunch damn day. For us not having money, I definitely had money because we would eat every damn day. And I would have to, you know, get there first and make sure we didn't get a booth because for some reason, skinny people love fucking booths. But now it makes sense because I love booths now because they're so much comfortable than a regular chair. Yeah. Right. But I'm all looking for a booth. I'm sitting down. I'm like, damn, these booths are too big. Right. Like they should make smaller booths now. Right. I'm over here. But before I was like, man, they should make bigger booths. Yeah. You know, I can't fit in these damn things. But like a lot of different things like that. But that was just my adaptation to my obesity.
I didn't know.
But you couldn't see that stuff.
Things. I didn't even realize, you know, we were making accommodations for a chair until you mentioned it. You're looking at it through your lens and telling me what you were going through and experiencing. I do remember saying like, hey, we got to get a chair for you. But I never thought like we had to adjust the chair. You saw
maybe you self-consciously knew, like you didn't know. Or maybe as I worked self-consciously, you knew whatever it might be.
It was unconsciously just unconsciously. We were having those conversations and you needed to. I remember doing that.
Even this, not sure if you know this. So when you got your XD, right, did everything.
XD as a truck.
Let's
bring some context.
Yeah, Titan XD diesel truck.
2019 diesel
brand
lifted
new
on 37s, blue.
Yeah.
Deleted. EPA non-compliant.
Non-compliant. Shout out to the person that snitched on us. For us rolling coal.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
How
crazy how things happened full. We won't talk about that one. We still got some stuff going. We won't talk about it. But anyways, right? But remember, I would never ride with you guys because remember, you didn't like the side steps. Yeah. So you took them off. Yeah. Bro, I was 500 plus pounds trying to get up in a lifted truck.
I took your lifeline away.
This guy's piece of shit took the
I did it on purpose. I was like, this guy's going to lose some weight if he wants to drive with me. No, I take these things off.
No, that's right. And what happened a week later? You freaking threw out your back getting up there.
I did.
He's like, he gets out of the truck. He's like, Jefe. He's always like, bro, I can't move. He's on everyone, go start the meeting for me. I'll be in there right now. I can't move. I was like, all right. He threw his black out. He was gone for like a whole week. He took a whole week off.
Bro. I was.
But yeah, he took the side steps off because the truck did look better without side steps.
Yeah. But the way I saw it looked higher without the side steps because the side steps came down like an extra 4 or 5 inches, which gave us help to get in. Why I threw my back out and why you could get in and out.
No. I was about to pull your whole damn headliner off.
I remember that.
Bro, that thing was honestly. If you ever want a truck that's durable, get a Titan headliner pull, like the whole shit stick. That thing, that's at least 500 pounds on that bad boy.
He would grab it, he'd put a leg in, he'd be and pull himself up. I mean, the man can do pull-ups. You guys see him. This is a different Jefe.
Everyone's like, how'd you get muscle? Like, my boy had a 6-inch lift truck and I had to get in that thing, right? But yeah, and it just that's why I was like, you know what? After a while, like one time I pulled it, I heard a little crack. I was like, I'm not getting in this car anymore. And that was that I drove myself, bro. Right? And like, I wasn't going to sit here and say like, hey, big dog, can you stop being a cheap ass and get the side steps that go in and out? You know what I mean? Which I still have them.
I put them on. I never put them
on. You know, I have them now. You're like, you can have them, bro. They're still in my grandma's house. Like, what are you gonna do with this? Like, don't worry about that. My best friend gave me, okay? So if you got a Titan XD, you need some.
Yeah.
1,500, they're yours. It's brand new. You know, but yeah, so that's, you know, little things like that. Of course, I wasn't gonna sit here and tell my best friend like that's not why I ride with you. It wasn't that was too good. Right, it was just that I just was like, bro, I'm going to destroy your car. Yeah. Right, and because I destroyed my own Jeep. I broke the center console thing. So it's like so interesting, you know, to have that conversation and us share these stories because we have two different sides of things. Yeah. Right, like you see it like you share the story of SEMA, like this guy did this and this. Wait, bro, I was dying. Francine heard it all. Yeah. Right, at the first day of SEMA, bro, I was ready to strangle you. Oh yeah, because you moved like a crackhead. You're like, dude, this bro, I was sore. Like we did about 30,000 steps that day. We're everywhere. Maybe even more, honestly, for the first day of SEMA.
If you guys don't know, SEMA's a car convention. We go every single year. And for context, I would take him with me to film me, run around, and just interact
like
with
a crackhead. Show. People think that I'm crazy.
I would drink coffee. We'd start at 8 in the morning. We'd go till they closed at 5. And he was following me around, filming me, soaked in sweat. You know, like literally, like you were soaked in sweat.
I had to buy another. The second day I brought another shirt because I knew what I was gonna do.
It's already hot.
Hot as hell. My tits are freaking. The gelatinous titties are fucking sweaty. But booty crack sweat. I did it though.
You did it. You know,
bro. I was so sweaty.
Not to me, maybe to Francine, but not me.
So. She's like, "Are you alright?" I was like, "Babe, I'm so tired." And then a filmer and editor's job is not done until the video's done. Yeah. And you want a daily vlog. So when you guys went out that night, I was so happy, bro, because I couldn't walk anymore. I always remember this, bro. I'll never forget this. It was the first day of SEMA, second day of SEMA. No, it was the first day of SEMA because I went to go buy some new ones the next day. I left that day. I took your truck actually. Yeah, I took your truck that day. I went to go buy some new sandals. My feet were so sweaty that I freaking was sliding in the chanclas. And literally, bro, the last 5 freaking steps till we made it to your truck of the end of day SEMA number 1. I ripped the chancla. So I had to squeeze my toe to hold the chancla in place, and I went to go buy new chanclas that day.
And that's where my journey with you begins. So if you're asking about my journey, something started there that I expressed to you later in life, but that's the day where people started bringing to my attention. They're like, hey, bro, your best friend, he might die.
Yeah. Well, no, it was before that. I just didn't let you see it. So you didn't know this, but on YouTube, you could put keywords that people can't say. Yeah. I used to put fat.
Gotcha.
A couple of words I put too.
You would delete that out.
I would delete it. No, they couldn't comment.
You wouldn't let people comment on our channel.
Yeah, I wouldn't let people comment on your channel.
I didn't know
the
that,
word
bro.
Fat.
That goes against the terms and policies that we had together. I'm just kidding. But
it's like 7 years later, big dog. You can't take me to court now.
You're saying that people were commenting on the channel,
and I stopped it.
I never saw them. So you saw.
So I saw them.
Crazy. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Well, because Joe, it was like, come on.
Finding out something new today.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Because it was like, bro, it started to get to me. Like, because think about it. It's like, I only could be so confident, right? Until I realized that, like, damn, like, it sucks. Like, I'm a good person. Why do they keep on talking about my weight? Why do they keep talking about my weight? And then I started to get heavier, my whole grandpa situation. Yeah. And then when I came back, everyone was like, damn, like, he got bigger. The Hefe Exposed video, that's when everyone was like, damn. And that's my heaviest. I was around 650 pounds right there before I started getting my stuff together. That's when we had a serious conversation. That's the day I fucking curved my rims. I'll never forget. You owe me that. Taco or something, you were supposed to fix those for me. Yeah. They're still scratched. But anyway, we'll digress. We're at Del Taco. I'll let you share the story of where, what happened.
I mean, there's a bunch of different ways to view it, but at the end of the day, there was an Asian lady there. Do you remember that? So this is how.
Yeah, I remember.
And not to profile
well,
race,
I remember because you told me, because I never.
There was an Asian and an old lady. Those two things. They're very vocal. That community's vocal. And I could just see on this lady's face that she was concerned about you.
Or disgusted.
What I mean? I don't want to say disgusted. I think it was genuine concern, but we're walking over to the table with a plate of food, and you didn't just order like one burrito. This is Del Taco. And for context, this was like 8 a.m. We had left the cars and coffee, and my man's about to have breakfast, and I'm going to join him. And we had a good plate of food. And I could just see the look on her face. And it was just the awkward situation where she made it pretty clear that she was just kind of looking at you with either disgust or worry or a combination of all of it. And then we just started talking, man. I was like, look, like, I'm starting to see things. I'm starting to hear things that I never really realized before, because I told you, like, early on in the podcast that I've always looked at you from a set of loving eyes. Like, you're my boy. You were never the fat guy. But then, I start to go back and I see little comments and little actions and things like that. And I was like, oh, wow, I got to really start looking at the potential of, like, this is my boy now, but he might not be here like in a year from now, because people are telling me that. Close friends of mine, Lou.
Yeah.
Lou brought it to my attention. He goes, yo, you love this guy, right? Then you got to talk to him, because he's not going to live much longer if he keeps going the way he is. And you were already starting to be.
It was after Grandpa. Yeah, this was after my grandpa. So I was around 650. Say 650.
And Lou is someone that I really like. I listen to. He does
Uncle Lou. Shout out Uncle Lou.
He's Uncle Lou. So when you hear like Lou speak, he's a man of few words, but when he talks, he's coming from like a genuine place, and he's aggressive with it. He's like, Daniel, that's your boy. Aggressive. He's gonna die. He's gonna die. And I'm like, the fuck are you talking about, Lou? Why would you say that? Yeah. You know what I mean? And then I go to sleep that night. I'm thinking about it. Then the incident happens at, I go back to the sandwich spot. Then we go to Del Taco. And it's like, wow, how did I miss this whole time? And you were gone for a little bit, because with your story that a lot of people know is when your grandpa passes, when your weight exploded. So you were gone for a little bit. You and I stayed in contact during that time, but I didn't see you much. When you finally came around, I was like, this is a different guy. You were big before, but you're huge now. Yeah. You're huge now. And I'm saying everything very openly, because look at him now. Like, you can't say nothing bad about this guy. Yeah. Well, I could say, but I know you personally.
Yeah. But, hold on. You must NDA, right? We didn't sign NDA, right? All right, cool. Good. Oh, phew,
but lucky. Dude, I had to come to like realization that, like, this is not just one person. This is like accumulatively things that are happening that are pointing in the direction that, dude, I could lose my best friend. Yeah. You know what I mean?
It wasn't far. I mean, because no one knew about the depression, the suicidal. Just everyone just knew I was fat.
There's another side of it.
No one heard any of that until Andy Purcell's podcast came out.
COVID was shortly after. I don't think you would have made it through COVID.
No, I would have made it through COVID.
You know what I mean?
There's no way. I was so, bro, the black on my forehead, the black on my eyes, like that was all pre-diabetic.
I trip out on that, because those things, I never really understood them. When I saw you, you had this spot on your head.
I was a leopard, right?
Your skin now is totally different than when you were when you were a bigger man.
Too. You see those teeth? Look at those $3,000 teeth right there. Look at those white things, baby.
Man,
shout out to
my
Petra.
My guy's killing it. But again, from my perspective, it took a while. So if you're around somebody who's excessively gaining weight, you may not see it the same way I did. I didn't see it for a long time, and I'm glad that we ended up having that real, authentic, vulnerable conversation at Del Taco, because I was like, bro, have you considered or you thought about getting surgery? That's where that conversation led. And, not saying that was the reason you did it. I'm sure you were already thinking about it, but I think you needed it from somebody that you respected as well.
Yeah, 100%. Because Francine would say something like, girl, you're fat too. Right, my parent, sorry, baby, too vulgar, huh? You're a little big, right? My family, my mom would try to tell me something, my grandma would tell me something. Like, you guys are overweight too, but like, not that I say I don't respect them, but it's like it's different when it's just different. It's a different respect.
I get it,
but like, is it safe to say one of the best things you've done in our friendship?
Yeah, for sure.
Right?
For sure.
Because
100%.
I feel that like there's a lot of people out here. There's people right now, there's people listening that are the fat friend.
Yeah.
And there's people listening that have the fat friend. Right? So this is great for both. Because at the end of the day, it's like that was one of the best things that you could have did for me. It was painful. There's a couple painful stories that we mean you have.
Of course.
Right? There's a bag, right? That bag story, bro. That hurt my ego.
Tell
right?
me the backstory was more of a money thing.
That's a business conversation. That's
and,
what it is.
When it comes to business and money, I'll talk shit in a different way. But when it comes from like love, authenticity, and heart, like the backstory and talking shit about money, whatever. But your health and your life and your family, like I care about the people that care about you. Yeah. And if we would have lost you, it would have hurt all of us.
Yeah, hopefully.
You know what I mean? Like I get the chills saying it because I mean it. Because that's
the route I was going, the action I was taking was going. So like in the reason why I asked the question is the best thing is because maybe someone out there needs to have that conversation. Like, cause how I look at it now is like, is being a coach, right? I'm okay for someone to hate me because I told them the truth. Because sometimes the right person you tell the truth to could change your life forever.
100%.
Sometimes that person needs to hear that tough reality of like, big dog, you have gelatinous titties. You can't see your dick. Your wife is going to leave you soon if you don't get it together. Right? Not in that way. Some people need to hear it.
I mean, that's what it could be.
But that's what it could be. Well, people don't know this, right? People don't know the conversations I have with my clients.
Yeah.
I've had conversations where wives go on business trips and come back and say, I want you to look like this guy. Yeah. I have conversations with gentlemen. They're like, look at like my girl, we're about to get it on. And she told me that she no longer wants to, suck down there because it's starting to get smelly.
Yeah.
Like, do you know how embarrassing that is? And how awkward of a situation you put your loved one in to have that conversation with you.
Just from a man's perspective. Just think about you being told that or anything of that nature where,
that was like...
It's going to rock you. It's going to fuck up your head.
Give me Ozempic.
Yeah, it's going to mess you up.
Yeah, Francie makes fun of my titties now and I get upset. I'm like, I lost 400 pounds. They're going to still make fun of these.
She's the old ones, not the new ones.
I know, right? You know what I mean? But like, oh no, I have these conversations. And ladies too, right? Hey, coach, I didn't know who to reach out to, but, my husband's, sleeping around with someone. My husband told me he's no longer sexually attracted to me, right? Those are tough conversations to have. Now, I don't believe in cheating or anything like that, but like for someone to fall out of love with you because you're not the same you that they met, because you let yourself go, is a real hard pill to swallow because we had every choice to fix it. I don't know how Francine or why Francine stayed with me. I mean, don't worry. She won. She freaking won. I mean, she picked me. She stuck with me, and now she drives around in Beamers and got herself Gucci bags. She's it. Ms. Modified Frankie. But it doesn't always go that way. Yeah. Right? Because she didn't have that conversation with me.
So you as a coach are not only helping them with their weight, but you're also contributing to the betterment of their life in general because, your weight correlates to a lot of things.
Everything. Because
and I wanted you to say it because I can't vouch for that. I'm out of shape. I'm the most out of shape I've ever been. So that's part of why I want to be right here, right now, is because we're going to make that pledge here on the podcast. Yeah. We're going to fix it.
No more dad bod 2025.
But with that said, it's like for me, even in my position, at times I'm like, man, I just don't feel like myself. I hurt when I get out of bed. Things are different. I'm 36 now. I'm not 25. So, I can imagine anybody really going through extreme weight gain and just all of that, how much it can actually affect your personal life.
And I'm glad you said that because you're sitting here, right? You have the jawline. You don't look morbidly obese, or nor do you look obese. You look a little chubby. You know what I mean? To the blind eye,
I'm happy, look normal. Bro. I got a really, really amazing, beautiful wife. My life is going great.
I fucking love it.
But that's not an excuse to let your body go because the longer we let it go, the harder it gets to bring it back.
And the bigger it gets.
And the bigger it gets.
That boy don't. If you get 600 pounds, I got you though. Yeah. We could blow your social media.
You won't see it because you're like, I love this guy.
I love this guy. No, I'm going to see it. I'm going to see it. I called him out the other day. I came back. I'm like, hey, I'm going to tell you this right now. The guys are talking crap on you. I don't like it. All right. My boy ain't going to be getting chubby no more. Like, what's a wrap now? So I can talk about you. They can't talk about you.
178, 182, like right around there, like basically since I've been an adult. And right now I'm at 202. And just seeing it go from the 190s into the 200s, I'm like, whoa, what's going on? I would love to be 200 pounds, but look good. And that's where I'm going to lean on you.
Yeah, we're back. We're here. But the reason why I was saying that I love that you share this is because you're not 600 pounds. And sometimes I feel like as I talk and we share our stories, they think that they have to be 300 and 600 pounds to get it. But you're at the heaviest you've ever been, and you feel the same that I felt at 650 pounds. That makes sense?
Yeah, no.
Like, it's your heaviest. It's your rock bottom. I'm glad your rock bottom is not 600 pounds, 650 pounds, right? But people think it's like, oh, well, it's, I'm only a little bit overweight. It's not that big of a deal. No, it is. It's your version of rock bottom.
Yeah.
I just happen to take it to an extreme. But that's who I am. That's who we are.
Right.
Like, we have a lot going on right now. We take everything to an extreme, and I just basically transferred over my lunatic ways from eating and drinking and vaping and put into business and self-development and my friendships. And actually, I don't have friendships anymore. They're all family to me. And my relationship and, my businesses, stuff like that. So it's like one of those things where it's like, I share this when you said like, oh, your weight will affect some things. It affects everything. Yeah. Because how about this? I'm not sure if you ever noticed this. How much clearer do I speak now compared to when you first met Jefe?
Everything is different, bro.
Right?
Like the clarity of the way you speak, perspiration. You're not sweating when you're just walking up the stairs.
No.
There's a bunch of visual cues. No. Then you go to the skin. Your skin looks totally different.
Got lighter. People say I went from black to med skin with the weight loss journey.
It's crazy, but you can go back, and I don't know if you edited any stuff in, but you can go back and you can see these things, which trip me out, bro. I didn't know that those things change too. You know what I mean?
Bro, I got shorter.
You got shorter.
I can see my weenie now after skin removal surgery. There's a lot of things that change, right? But no, it's a lot. It's a lot. And having these conversations are very crucial, right? Because this podcast, this conversation, us, two best friends talking, could have got someone to finally get the courage to say, hey, I'm worried for you.
Yeah.
Bro, girl, lady, whatever the proper way, right? Like, I'm worried for you. I'm worried about you. But there's also something else here that you didn't talk about, and I'm going to talk about, is that after we had that Del Taco thing, you would go for walks with me.
Yeah.
After we had the Del Taco thing, you offered to pay Jordy to come down to the other premium, and we will lift weights. Me, you, and I can't remember his name, but we have content of working out, and then we put it on the vlog and blah blah blah. So it's like, even though you don't realize it, that you said something, but then you also showed something.
Gotcha.
And like, that's a big thing too. And like, that's what I also want. The person that wants to talk to their fat friend, don't just give them a problem. Offer to be their solution.
Yeah.
Right. What do we talk about in the business meeting? Like, what do we talk about? Why I talked about in the last podcast. My detailer, been working with them since I was 16. He gave me a problem, didn't give me a solution. I now have a new detailer.
Yeah.
Right. And at the end of the day,
we live by that. And you and I have grown together on that so much. And I think the reason why it's worth commenting on, because it shows to the success of our businesses and our ventures, but also shows in our personal life and also your weight. And it's like, there is a problem. There's a bunch of problems in life, but there's also solutions. And do you want to be the problem that looks, or be the person that just looks at the problem and never brings a solution? I don't want those people around me. So I don't want to be that to anybody else, nor myself. So if I recognize a problem, I got to fix it, and I have to propose a solution. My solution in this situation is I have one of the best coaches, in the industry, in the game, and he's my best friend. So, Daniel feels at 200 pounds the worst he's ever felt.
206.
202.
Come on. Okay, my bad.
Bro.
We'll see. There's a scale up here.
Nah, we don't want to play that. But there's a solution. The solution is like, let's get to business.
Put your ass to work.
We implement that strategy, problems versus solutions and everything else. And this is where I'm lacking.
Yeah.
And, again, where you were going with it is, if you do have somebody in your life that's overweight and you're going to have that conversation with them, which I've been in that position where I've had to have that conversation. Was it easy? No, it wasn't easy. Of course not. You don't want to hurt your best friend's feelings. You don't want to be a bigger part of the problem. It's like, how do you help and become a part of the solution? It's like, look, man, like, this is a problem. I don't want to see you die. I love your family. Therefore, like, I don't want to see them lose you. So this is all of us. We're in it with you, and everybody's going to try to support you however we can. And I did what I could.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And whatever that was, if it was going for a walk with you, getting in the gym when I could. At the time, I'm not saying that people don't need the gym, but at the time it was a little different for me. I didn't need it. You know what I mean? Maybe to put on some muscle, but I was like, I'll get in there just to show my guy that I'm going to support him.
Worked out a couple of times, and then it just turned into just everything it turned into. And then, but it all stems from there. And it stems from the tough conversation you had with me and with Frankie, because Frankie's always like, you always give Daniel his flowers about your weight loss journey, but I was also there. I was like, I know you were there.
Yeah.
Like, everyone knows you're there. You got a BMW because you're there.
You know what I mean? There's a lot of people, though.
Well, there's a lot of people. But guess what, though? It's so funny. I was just talking to Frankie about this. Everyone who's in my circle, right? is the original people that were with me when I first started everything. Yeah. I have no new friends. All those people are gone.
Let's say this. They came in and they gone. They washed themselves out.
They washed themselves out. They got rid of their own self, because I'm not better than anyone, but the people that feel challenged and feel a threat by you will remove them. They'll remove themselves from you.
Yeah.
Right. And so look where I'm at again. My financial advisor is Yvonne, someone who when my grandpa passed away, I wasn't working, lending me $700 to buy my the camera that we're using actually right now for this thing. Still have it today. Right,
shout out Yvonne.
Yvonne.
Dope.
Daniel, who showed me the businesses and showed me the business aside, became a good friend, offered to go work out with me. Francine, who am I missing? Caesar, Carla, like the people that were with from day one. Now everyone else is gone.
Yeah,
everyone and people follow me on social media probably notice, like, damn, this guy used to be hanging out with everyone. Now he's with nobody. But not obviously you guys
organically.
But I love it though because it's like I had to go and do that. I had to go work on myself. Me and Frankie had to become closer. We had to get out of Orange County for a second to realize or prepare ourselves for what was going to come when we move back.
Yeah.
Right. And it's all good. And just like, when you have good people in your circle, and I'm talking to that fat friend, right? That fat friend, the overweight friend, whatever it is. When you have good people in your circle and they tell you something, don't go off your emotions. Because you're going to get mad, you're going to get upset, you're going to get your feelings hurt, you're going to just have hatred towards them.
You're saying from the perspective of the fat person.
Of the fat person being talked to.
Okay.
They're coming, the proper people, you're going to know who's proper or not, man. Like, you're going to not, if someone's like, hey, you fat piece of shit, go lose weight. I mean, come on, common sense ain't your friend. Right? But what I'm saying, though, is like when that person that comes in your life is like, hey, I'm worried about you. Don't be so shut down, because that's how I was. I would go off on my grandma when they brought it up. Francine, how dare you, blah, 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 blah. I was all just, yeah. But at the end of the day, I only did it because it hurt my feelings, because I know it's true.
Yeah.
Right. But when I chose to listen to it on my time, though, it has to be on your time. It's a life-changing thing.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about your best friend dying. Maybe on a dirt bike.
Yeah, which I still do. And I tell you all the time.
He wants me to he doesn't like me snowboarding. He doesn't like me dirt bike. Bro, this guy is like having a dad. He's like the older dad, and he's like a year older than me. But he's like, bro, I don't look at you do social media. You shouldn't do this. I'm like, bro, chill, dad.
I just want to see my boy thrive, and not saying that they'll be having experiences like going to ride your dirt
bike.
No, I
know.
Which
you're looking out for me.
Going snowboarding, but I look at it from a professional's perspective too now. Like, now you're a coach.
Yeah.
And you got people that are relying on you
to
stay healthy, bro.
I could coach 3 days after getting cut in half.
Yeah.
I think I'm good with a sprained ankle.
That's true. That is true.
You know what I mean?
I saw the cut in half. I saw there's a Lambo starting out
That's
there.
a Lambo. Yeah.
I saw you, go through multiple phases of your life, from being the big guy to doing some of your first pull-ups. I was there with you in 2020.
Yeah.
We're in my apartment. I'm in the worst phase of my life, bro. Hanging out with this guy. Well, he's hanging out with me, trying to help me.
Living with me.
And he's like, I'm going to go do a pull-up. And this is right before COVID. And I'm like,
No, what's...
I love
wait,
this guy,
hold on.
I don't know.
Wait, hold on. Sorry to cut you off.
You're good. You're good. Do it.
What day did everything get locked down?
Your birthday.
March 13th.
That's crazy. Like, it was right around this time that COVID, it was already announced, but there was no lockdown yet.
Today, in 2020, 5 years ago, we were going to go get food for the little ones.
Sushi or something. I don't know.
Remember we went to the grocery store before everything was crazy. It was raining. Today's raining. It's crazy, right? Wow, look at that.
Yeah.
And that's when COVID happened, and that's when we started hitting that home gym, because you were going through your thing. I was on a weight loss journey, and we look where we're at now. That's crazy. Yeah. Look at that. We're on a podcast today.
If you think about those two people who were in that gym in 2020, going through a shutdown that we've never seen before in our lives.
I think we're both in a manic episode.
Yeah, we were two totally different people that we are now, But in that situation, it was so crazy because we were both going through huge transitions in our life, whether we recognized it or not. I was going through the pre-stages of a divorce. You were going through the pre-stages of becoming who
heavy
you are
modified.
today, heavy to modified. And our lives were just going in totally different directions, not away from each other, but we were going two different paths. We were growing. We were forced to grow.
We had I was forced to ungrow.
Yeah.
Because I got a mountain bike.
Your growth was ungrowing.
Yeah. Unbigging my back. Right? Because remember, that's when we got I got the fixie.
Yeah.
And you got a mountain bike.
Yes.
And then I got a mountain bike.
Some of the best days of my life. It's weird. And I don't know if you feel this way, but the early stages of your development and the transition and the, everything good that is now here, you were at that time, in some of the worst phase of your life, to start going through that, pushing through that, right? So I'll say this, and this is often on another thing, but going through that part of my life where it was the most terrible thing ever, hopping on the mountain bike was some of the best times of my life.
Bro,
like I knew I was doing something good for my mental health. I knew I was doing something good with you. We were getting out in nature. We were riding bikes. We didn't have to go to work. Everything was shut down, So it was COVID. But dude, I look back now today and I think those were some of the best times of my life because they were molding both me and you. Yeah. We didn't even know it.
And we didn't, and it's just piggybacking off of that. We never know why we're going through something, but we know if we stick to it, something good's gonna happen. At that time, it was a dumpster fire, bro.
Oh, it was.
Like, we won't even get into all that. We can't even get into that
That's
yet.
a whole other podcast.
That's a book. But at the end of the day, it was molding you and it was molding me without us even knowing. But we were in such a big tornado that we couldn't even see the finish line, either one of us, because I had a big weight loss journey ahead of me, right? Because I just lost my grandpa. You had that.
It was a lot.
You know what I mean? And you're right, though, and I personally and I truly believe this, and I'm glad that we're talking about this. We got on this topic is this: life gives you what you put in. If you would have gave up, you wouldn't be as far as you are today. If I would have gave up, I wouldn't be able to fit in this chair today. You know what I mean? But look where we're at. We didn't give up. We kept going. 5 years ago. 5 years.
I think we can both agree to this. That and this is an important topic to touch on for people who are overweight, because you mentioned it, and I can say it in my situation is, dude, we could have been dead. Like, we could have ended our own lives because of how bad we both were. We were both there, and you mentioned it already. And I'm like, man, at that time in my life, I was like, yeah, it'd be easier to be dead. You know what I mean?
No, I heard it.
I said it to you multiple times.
Don't make me punch you, dog. What the fuck?
I know it's crazy. And now when you're healed and you're developed and you've grown, it's so crazy to hear yourself say that. But I think it's worth saying because there is people that are 300, 400, 500, 600 pounds. Whether your weight is dealing with a divorce or it's physical weight, you're carrying something that you have to grow from, and you have a choice. It's either, there's people that are in the fire and they're ready to commit suicide, which is the worst thing in the world. I would never say to anybody that that's the solution. So please, don't let that be it, because you've been there. I've been there. And if it correlates to your weight, have that conversation with somebody, but like, hey, it's time to fix this. Like, I need to get my life right.
Yeah.
Whether or not it's a divorce or your physical health. You know what I mean?
Something that I learned, because we do have to get going. We have a lot to do today. We have a meeting today.
Well, what time is it?
I don't know what time it is right now. Probably time to leave now.
I guarantee
you. I feel in my soul that we're going to be.
Yeah,
we have to go. We're running late. All right, amazing. But what I want to say is this, right? I'm grateful for those times. Now that I've made it out, right? Hold on, hear me out, people, because I was not talking like this with a smile during those times.
Yeah.
Now that I made it out, I'm grateful because it's taught me so much on life and the stuff and I know I've been talking a lot of materialistic things, right? I've been hearing myself, but before they were pipe dreams. Now they're actual tangible things that I own, right? But what I'm saying is this: I wouldn't be able to work as hard as I do now. I wouldn't be able to respect my brand and myself and have so much gratitude if I didn't go through those. I wouldn't even call rainy days. Like, that shit was like a tsunami.
Yeah.
Right. But at the time I felt like giving up, but I pushed through it, and now I'm here and I get to share the story and bring value to people. So I'm grateful for that old version of myself who pushed through it, because I didn't push through it. I'm 275 pound AJ.
Yeah.
I'm talking about this 5'4", 5'6", 150 pound guy who pushed through it. Like, I'm grateful for those situations because those molded me into who you're listening to speak right now. And that's times.
The next thing I was gonna say is, I'm equally as grateful, but also, had you and I not going through our own trials and tsunamis, like you said, we probably wouldn't be able to have this conversation the way we're able to have it now. It's just open, it's authentic, it's real, it's vulnerable. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, the old Daniel couldn't do that. And you at 500 pounds probably couldn't do that either.
Oh, no. Talking about weight, big dog, it's a problem.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But we had a lot of damage. We had things we had to correct. We had our self-development. There's so much. And we're not done growing, But, yeah, there would have been no story to tell, especially if we would have give up, And that's what it is. Like, we give up so fast on ourselves. We will literally work on a relationship that never should have been with someone else, but we literally will break a relationship that it should be with ourselves.
Yeah.
And we don't give ourselves enough time. Like, I want to go back to what I said a couple minutes ago. That was 5 years ago, bro. 5 years. 5 years ago. And people were like, 90 days, it built a great habit. Fuck you, dude. That was 5 years ago.
Yeah.
5 years I've been on this mental health, weight loss, physical development, being a coach. Won't talk about bad contracts I've signed. Won't talk about the personal drama I've been through, you've been through, family stuff. 5 years of shoveling shit to get here so like looking at it, we just gave you 5 years of knowledge in a 47-minute podcast.
I think there's a last part of it that I think you'll agree with. Do you feel that over those 5 years, you've now developed a life hack where now everything's achievable? And I think the reason why you hold so many people to a high standard and accountability is because of what you went through. And I feel this way too. Like, I figured out a life hack. Like, going through the storms that we went through turned us into this new person where we're almost, I don't want to say invincible, because we're not, no one's invincible, but
you feel that way though.
It's like,
nothing's impossible.
It's just,
nothing's
impossible. Nothing's off limits. It's like, well, if I went through that, I can get through anything.
Yeah. Well, how I look at it is this way. I'll double down on that. Not only do I feel anything is possible, I'm prepared for anything that gets thrown my way.
Absolutely.
Like, you're talking to, I can't express what you're going through. We can't talk about that yet, but I'll talk about me. You're talking to someone that, came through a fought a depression from being on pain medicine. You're talking to someone whose dad was murdered 3 months before I got on a bodybuilding stage. Murdered in broad daylight, court dates, 12 every 1 or 12 a month for a whole year.
Yeah.
You can't tell me that life is difficult, because unfortunately, but fortunately, God has put myself, your coach, maybe if you're listening to one of my clients, your future coach, if you haven't worked with me yet, God has put me through a hell in order to show you that anything's possible.
Yes, sir.
And that's how I look at it, because at the end of the day, I'm prepared for anything. If I already get a phone call right now that someone stole my truck, all right, well, I got insurance. How are we going to handle it? How are we going to fix it? Yeah. Yo, Daniel, hit up, what's his name? We need a broker again. We need another, like, before it was like, oh my God, the end of the world, Now it's just like,
your resilience is built up.
Yeah.
You've built such mental clarity and toughness through your situation. So I commend you, bro. The last thing I'll say for me, my eyes looking at you as you've went through your journey, I'm just proud, bro. I'm truly proud of you. I told you this over and over through the journey. Is like, I expected it from you, and he used to hate it, but now I think he gets it.
No, I still hate it.
He would tell me like good stuff. He'd be like, oh, I'm going to be on Steve Harvey tomorrow. I'll be like, that's amazing, bro. I expected it. You know what I mean? Because your journey was so impactful to so many people and was so amazing that nothing surprised me.
Yeah.
And it's not that I wasn't happy for you and I wasn't excited for you, because I truly was, but everything just became like expectation for me. I expected these things of you, and I still expect so much more from you. The same way you feel about me. I talk about the business and this and that. It's not there's no surprise. You know that the ideas are there. I'm going to implement, and you expect it. Yeah. So I expect you to continue being the best coach. You're going to be the #1 coach on Instagram, on any influence platform. I see that.
Seed planted.
When people reach out to you, you're going to have the best service. You have the best team behind you.
Yeah.
So you got all of the elements. So I expect it. You know what I mean? Like, there's no way you're going to fail.
No,
you know what I mean?
I won't allow it. I won't. I've already lived a life of failure. And same thing with you. And that's why we're here, to make sure we double down and push each other to become better and keep becoming better. And like I said, man, it's everyone needs someone like that. And I personally feel if you don't have someone like that, I mean, maybe take a deep dive and look at yourself. Maybe you did have someone, but you pushed them away. Maybe you weren't prepared for a solid friendship. Maybe that person tried to have a conversation that maybe rubbed you the wrong way because it was true. But, take a deep dive and look at it, because I know, like, I know that I'm like an extrovert for sure, right? I know that. But there's someone for everyone. And I'm not just talking about a relationship. I'm talking about like an actual friendship, someone that you could confide and talk to and be there for, and then be there for you, right? It might take a second. You might have to do some searching. You might have to, take a second to build that friendship or relationship, but whatever it might be, but it's out there. But it's like, if you haven't had that, then maybe, just maybe you're the one that's shut down. Maybe you're the one that's
maybe you're the one shutting down, or what are you attracting into your life? Who are you surrounding yourself with? I mean, that's a whole nother topic, and we'll get into it on the next podcast. Yeah. If you guys like what you're hearing, we could talk about. We can go for days, you and I. Keeping people around you and the right people. That's what we did, and we continue to do it. There was so many fucking times where we could have been done. Oh, yeah. You know what I mean? He moved to Vegas. Whatever. He's out. He's got a new best friend. Whatever. He's out. He called this guy his best friend on that podcast and that podcast and that podcast, but I'm his best friend.
Oh man, he said that's all right.
We could have been done, but that's not what we do. We hold each other accountable and we get it done.
That's it, man. It's it. So this podcast right here, just if it tells you anything, have the tough conversation, accept the tough conversation, game plan, execute.
Done.
Get out there and change your life around. Get out there and become better. If you liked anything you heard, please comment, please share, please like. I make no money off this podcast. Well, I'm actually about to start making some money on this podcast setup, not podcast setup.
Yeah.
And it's so crazy, just you guys are all here, and I'm going to keep sharing, as we keep going. My goal is to have you on once a month. You guys are going to,
once a week.
Oh, once a week? That's
Tell them.
Shoot, whatever it might be.
I enjoyed this. I really enjoyed this,
It's a good conversation, but it's really cool because one thing I do love, and I'm starting to do more, I'm not sure if you noticed this, I'm starting to show more of what my hard work is earning me.
Yeah.
The watches, the shoes,
yeah,
the truck, buying Francine a car. And it's not that I'm flexing. It's just I'm showing what is possible when you shut up and you work. That's it, right? That's it. And if you take it as a flex, well, then unfollow me because I'm about to, don't let me get the McLaren. I'm really going to piss you off.
Hyper focus. That's what he's been doing. I've watched it firsthand, so.
Let's go. Get out there with good shit, man.
There it is.
Instagram?
D.Premium. The bigger thing for me is follow the brand, Premium Auto Styling. Follow us there. I mean, at the end of the day, like you could follow me, but I'd rather you follow our company and see the journey. So Premium Auto Styling.
And you get to see me on there now.
And you get to see him.
All right, let's get out there. Get out there and win, guys. Have a good one.
All this happened for myself and my family. There's no way that this is real, man.